What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co host,
Hey
Josh.
everybody.
And welcome back to another episode of the Film Bros podcast. All right, Josh, we're here with our first movie review of the year. And even though you probably watched a great one, we're going to go ahead and review a terrible one, or at least
What a good way to
one
start the
from
year.
a different side. Now, let's be honest. I think it was what 2023 when you watched your first movie, and I believe it was Night Swim. And
Yeah.
you're like, man, this movie's shit. And I was like, oh no, this is gonna be good. I did it to myself. I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, action flick on Netflix. That's where the question mark came in. It was like on Netflix, and I was like, maybe they can break the mold. But then we got this clip right before the movie was released, and I was wondering why they were on this like podcast tour, basically. And I was like, oh, they're really trying to hype this movie up. I wonder why. And I'm like, oh, it's Netflix. We got to really hype this movie up. And then I was like, wow, I wasn't thinking anything nefarious. Now I think this was an apology tour before the movie comes out, and a lot of copium for sure. This clip that we did talk about the past couple weeks ago, I kind of wanted to bring it up again so you can hear it one more time, and maybe in a different lens after watching this movie, and tell me that this doesn't seem like Ben Affleck is really trying to pull some copium on us. All right,
Okay.
let's listen.
Experience of watching at home, I think, you're watching in a room, the lights are on, other shit's going on, the kids are running around, the dogs are running around, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's just a very different level of attention that you're willing to, or that you're able to give to it. And that has a big effect. And it also ends up having an effect, or is starting to have an effect on how you make movies. Like, for instance, Netflix, the standard way to make an action movie that we learned was, you usually have like three set pieces, one in the first act, one in the second, one in the third, and they kind of ramp up, and the big one with all the explosions, and you spend most of your money on that one in the third act. That's your kind of finale. And now they're like, can we get a big one in the first 5 minutes to get somebody? We want people to stay tuned in, and it wouldn't be terrible if you reiterated the plot 3 or 4 times in the dialogue because people are on their phones while they're watching. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
And so then it's going to really start to infringe on
Creatively.
how we're telling the
but
story.
then you look at Adolescence, it didn't do any of that.
didn't do
shit.
any of
And
that.
it's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's dark too. It's
Yeah.
tragic and intense. It's like guy who finds out these kids accused of murder, and it's like, and there's long shots in the back of their head. They get in the car, nobody says anything. I think there are those. Look, these
I wish that
ideas,
were
like,
that
you do
feels
this
more
trick,
like the
do that trick,
exception. Though. It's so masterfully made that it feels a little more like the exception. I hope it's not.
My feeling is just that it demonstrates that you don't need to do any of that shit to get people. You know what I mean? Like, and I think yes, like look, hey, the town had the action thing in the beginning, the first 5 minutes, because you know what I mean? Like, it's a common trick that you would go like, let me grab them and get them invested in. It's like the movies that start with the hero hanging from the cliff, and now we're gonna flash back to the beginning and tell you how they got there.
So we did watch longer, more of the clip on a previous episode. If you guys want to go check that out, you guys can. Or if not, go check it out on the internet. They talk all in depth. Josh, what do you think about this clip now that you watched the movie?
It's cope. It is hella cope. I have no I agree to a certain extent, but in the context of his own movie, this is cope. This is not Netflix is doing when a movie does it outside, it's so you're invested in what they're saying. In Netflix's case, they know that people are on their phones when they watch. Matt Damon said it perfectly. Like, you can have X, Y, and Z in the back. You could be folding laundry while the movie's on, whatever. So they're doing it in an attempt to hold you while you're doing another task. If you're watching it in theaters, that's just off rip to get you invested in the story. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a big difference depending on if you're watching a movie in theaters versus at Netflix or on Netflix. I mean,
Yeah, but this is what I mean. Where like this is like cope in a way because and in a way this is like a bombshell like news thing for like people on Netflix and kind of gets you worried for like that merger that's happening with WBD where it's like Netflix really think okay, obviously you got to conform to the consumer. Don't get me wrong. I understand that there is probably some show that you can probably flip on in the background, and you're not gonna pay attention to it, and you're hoping that you can hear what's happening and whatever, whatever, whatever. But if you're invested in this movie, right? Let's say I want to watch the RIP, right? On a Friday night, everybody's asleep, everybody, whatever. I'm watching it in my living room, with my girl, whatever, blah blah blah, and it has my full attention, but yet you're still gonna reiterate that plot 4 times. Where is the movies where for the real serious people that want to watch a movie and care that the plot's actually getting moved along, not getting shit repeated like I'm 5 years old or something like that. Like that's it ruins the movie for the people that actually care about the movie, right? If you're just watching the movie with because you're like, oh, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon's in it, I'm gonna pop it on while I'm doing dishes. It's like, really? Like you're not gonna put on Die Hard while you're doing the dishes. No,
I
you're
know.
gonna sit there and you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, you like. I would say there is movies made for that, but they're like unserious movies that like you've seen thousands of times. So you're just like, all right, yeah, I can listen to it while I do what I gotta do. But even then, if you're whatever you're doing, you're gonna get invested. You know what I mean? You're gonna actually stop what you're doing and just eyeball the TV for a good 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I think about this one too. Like, just sorry, not to cut you off. Maybe if you can just finish it off, but think about like that Frankenstein movie too that we watched recently. That one in the first 5 minutes there was action.
yeah, to try and get people's attention. But even then, like brand new movie, they're trying to do this big action piece to get you invested. If you're already deciding to pop it on while you do X, Y, and Z, you're not invested really. That action piece does nothing for nobody.
You missed it. You missed the
Yeah.
first 5 minutes.
Oh,
Let's just
what
say that.
happened? Rewind it. You know what I mean? Like that's dumb.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand you gotta hold people in, but look, if they're not sitting for your movie because it's dog shit, it is what it is. I mean, and that whole thing where it's like, and he was like trying to hype up the whole action sequence in the beginning. The whole thing about that too is that if you're getting that action in the beginning, then the rest of it's just all boom, boom, boom as it goes through. There's no stakes held within. Now, if something big happens or whatever, and like I think that's different when it's like, oh yeah, how did I get here or whatever, and then we go back to the beginning, and then we finally get there. It's like, oh yeah, it makes sense how the fuck you got there, but like you just put it in there just because you're like, oh, make it mysterious, and let's just be honest, the RIP a mile away. You saw everything that was happening a mile away. It sucks, but it is what it is. But I just was wondering, and then that's another thing too. I was like, okay, podcast story. So they're like, traditional media doesn't work. Let's go ahead and through podcast because everybody's gonna hear it through podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's either that or they're gonna see it on Hot Ones. You know what I mean? Like that's. I guess that's the difference.
In a way, Ben Affleck is kind of like that old man that's trying to hold on to that old stuff, but was forced to do something new and kind of fell into the trap of like didn't know how to perform it perfectly. I feel.
Yeah, they're not making movies like how they used to. Ben Affleck, they're doing everything on digital at Netflix. So
Yeah, you're making shit like Air.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
all right, man.
It's a good concept, but come on now. Come on now. I mean, if you're making it for streaming and these are the things that they're asking you for and it's corrupting the vision, then where's the integrity of the film in my opinion? I don't know. That's just me. But let's get into this review real quick because let's just be honest, it's gonna be really quick. The RIP Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, 82% certified fresh on the Rotten Tomato score, 67% on the popcorn meter. How do we feel?
I critics score a little high, I would say. Audience score, I mean,
I could see somebody liking it, the ones that don't pay attention to the movie. They
right,
they probably would have been really surprised.
right. Like audience score, this is the problem. If you're looking at it technically, this movie just gets so annoying halfway through. But if you're one of the ones that just shut your brain off and then like the action for the action, I can see the score being higher on the audience score, but even then, it's like, ooh,
I mean, you saw better action in the newest Bad Boys movie that just recently came out.
shit's crazy. But yeah,
It is what
I
it
don't
is.
know if I agree. I think
I
everything
can't
here is too
completely
high.
agree with either of these scores. I'm like, anybody who really enjoyed this movie, you really did not, or I mean, you really weren't paying attention, and it got filled in for you, and that's what made it great for you.
Yeah,
And if that's the case, then I mean, I guess whatever puts butts in seats, right?
yeah, it's just too high for everything all around. Too high.
Directed by Joe Carnahan, um, starring Matt Damon
Now we
as
know who to
Lieutenant
blame.
Dane, Ben Affleck as Detective Sergeant, J.D. Barn, Stephen Yu as Mike Rogue, Tiana Taylor as Numa Baptista, Sasha Kaye as Desi, and so on and so forth. Kyle Chandler's in here as Maddie. Not too bad, not too bad. A pretty stacked cast. Josh, if you want to kind of run down what happens in this film a little bit, spoilers up ahead for the RIP. If you haven't seen it, go check it out right now. If not, stay for the ride, and we'll let you know if it's worth it.
All right. But Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are cops in Miami PD. They are a task force that does, I guess, cash busts instead of drug busts. When their one of their captains is killed for the little crew, they are immediately investigated for corruption as the NY or the Miami PD is falling apart due to either pay cuts or corruption because of the gangs and the what do you call it, cartels as they're taking it over. So what in an attempt to catch or elude the audience into what you think the Matt Damon might be stealing the cash for, they come up with an elaborate plan amongst their crew. They get a tip for a house. They go to rip it. They say it's supposed to be less. They end up finding $20 million in it. It again, it gets more elusive. Are they gonna take it? Are they not gonna take it? Are they corrupt? Are they not corrupt? It's a big cat and mouse game. It gets a little convoluted in the middle. The ending leaves you, I guess, a little satisfied if you didn't see it coming. But by then, it's just a it's just a I would say it's a roller coaster, but it's not a thrilling roller coaster.
It's like that Green Lantern one at Six Flags. It's
Yeah,
that roller coaster.
you'll hit a
Um,
loop or two, but that's about it.
Character wise, I mean, if I want to kind of start it off, the only two people that I really gave a shit about that was actually acting their asses off were probably Matt Damon and Kyle Chandler. Those two were really good for what they were doing. Tiana Taylor, I mean, standard. I feel like Sasha Kaye was standard. Stephen Yu was kind of standard. Ben Affleck, on the other hand, one of the main people in this movie, let's just be honest, completely out of place. Felt weird to see him as a cop for some reason, even though we did. I mean, I don't know. I don't see him as cop, like a cop person. Like, if anything, I would have probably felt like he was maybe the bad guy at one point like that. But I just felt like Ben Affleck was completely out of place in this movie. Just watching him, it didn't feel right. Matt Damon
Mm.
seemed like he was acting his ass off, and then Ben Affleck just felt like he was that cool, suave guy, and it was just like, you're not cool. You kind of seem a little too old to be kind of doing that kind of shit.
Your
He should
unk.
have been more of the more fleshed out, wise partner. I felt he should have been.
I kind of felt that. I don't know. I have my thing, my little pet peeve where like, if there's too much swearing coming from them in every sentence, it's kind of like, why are we doing that? That's kind of
Mm.
the way I felt watching this movie. Everybody was swearing except Matt Damon, and so I was wondering. I was just like, really? Like everybody gets a curse word? Like that's just where we're at. So it was all very off putting, especially to hear Ben Affleck, like saying what he was saying, trying to be the hard cop. I don't know. He was out of place. I mean, I like him as an actor, but this just wasn't it for him. Other than that, I kind of didn't mind everybody else. It was nice seeing like Stephen Yoon, Sasha Kaye, crazy because you've never I haven't seen her since The Flash. Um, uh, like I said, Kyle Chandler, not bad, not bad. Very very nice actor. I think everybody, you're probably right. Everybody except Ben Affleck probably did their thing.
Yeah, everybody there was pretty standard. I do think Matt Damon was kind of giving it his all, and I'm just like, dude, this is a Netflix movie.
It's the future.
Like what
He
do you?
he has to give it his all here because he's gonna be giving it his all for the entire industry or the
He
entire
was just in
probably career.
Odyssey mode or something. He had to be in
Yeah,
Odyssey mode, something like that. I don't know. I just felt like, hey, everybody's doing the thing. Ben Affleck is just the one that was like, it sucks to say, because if anything, I felt like he was the drawing, and that had to be my like, no. And same thing. Like. I gotta say the same thing kind of happened with Air, because he was kind of like my draw, and he was just not for me.
He was barely in Air.
Uh huh. Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon was all over. Like this is the thing. Like I don't know why when they work together they give Matt Damon the star lead role.
We obviously know who has the next gear when it comes to acting. That's why.
Mm. And like yeah, that's why they usually bounce off each other well. I don't know what they were doing here, where Matt Damon was trying to come off as like the reasonable cop, and Ben Affleck was made to look like the loose cannon. But then they tried and flip it to say that maybe he was the one taking the cash. Mixed signals. Mixed signals.
Mixed signals for sure. Yeah. Other than that, pretty standard for everybody else. What about the camera work, cinematography?
There were some cool action pieces. I mean, or cinematography. I I hated the shaky cam every time bullets were going off.
Mm.
That was the most annoying thing that you could put into a movie. If you weren't paying attention, I guess you missed it. But for those that were, just annoying way to shoot like a gun scene.
It just they were trying to add effect, but it just felt too much.
Yeah,
Too much. I feel that. Mm.
I,
And then, I gotta just add this. That nasty Netflix filter that they add on these movies doesn't help it at all.
yeah. Where
Just
like
gotta
it looks like green. It's
green
weird.
and fake. I don't know. I don't
That
know.
yeah, they look like their filter and like I don't know if it's the digital camera. I don't know what it is. That and then coupled with like the flare on the guns when they shot also looked weird.
Mm.
Please Netflix, get out the game. I can't.
The plot,
I
basic, standard.
basic. Unfortunately, which is crazy because this is like this whole crew, this whole entire cast. I can see it being better with a better story, and like could be in my humble opinion, it probably could have been up there with like the what is it? What's the Den of Thieves? You know what I mean? Like that could have been something. It could have been something like that.
The
But it,
first one. The first
yeah, exactly like the first one. But this shit was
one.
just buns all around. Like I said, characters underdeveloped. They tell you everything that is wrong with them, and you're just supposed to ride the wave because we're not here to show you backstory. We're here to tell you
Believe
why they
me,
act
and
this
they
way.
tell you. They make sure to tell you too.
Oh
By the
yeah,
way.
they tell you. I cannot. I was so. I was counting, bro, in the first like 10 minutes how many times they said like, "We got a dead captain." Oh, you think I'm dirty? No, you're dirty. Who's dirty? Like, like it was so annoying, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm paying attention. You have not lost me once. You say it again, you will. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at with Netflix and their stupid ass like over
You just gotta be
explaining.
like, call me when you guys caught up to the plot, like I have at this point, because
Like, man, I'm like halfway. Like,
yeah.
of course it wasn't the cartel that shot them. You know what I mean? Like, where else? What are we doing? You know what I mean?
And let's be honest, could the plot kind of work? Maybe if they weren't spoon feeding you every sentence of the way. Like that's just my thing.
Right.
Like it was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a tricky little roller coaster, but at the same time, we're leaving you little breadcrumbs that you could follow just in case you get a little lost.
Right. Right. It doesn't make any sense. It's just annoying, and basic, and annoying, and because the way Netflix does things, it just adds like 5 extra negative points. You know what I mean?
Hmm. What about the action, the fight scenes, set pieces? How do we feel about
I
those?
like the ending. I guess the most satisfying bit was when Ben Affleck uh got his lick in, and at the end, and it showed him and the captain. You know what I mean? Like that was a cool, nice little piece. That was probably the only piece that I liked. Matt Damon throwing around Steven Yeun. I don't know how this old man's doing it, but hey, they made it look pretty cool. I guess that was the only one. Everything else up until then was snooze fest.
Everything just felt basic. I mean, yeah, there was a cool little flashy whatever here and there, but it wasn't even like anything to sit with now. Like I could think back to like maybe Underground 6 or something like that, and those action set pieces were crazy. Frankenstein's, no guns were really shot besides, from the good guys, and I mean those action scenes look pretty crazy for what they were. No, I felt like everything just felt like a standard action movie. Like everything just felt standard, and they try to give you a little wiggle room where they're like, "Oh, we're doing something different," but they're just like, it's like, what's the best way to put it? It's like if you're jumping out of a plane with a parachute, like you kind of want to do that by yourself. You don't want somebody to be strapped onto you for that ride. You know what I mean? And that's what I felt. I felt like somebody was strapped onto me the whole time for the ride.
Telling you, hey, are you having fun? Did you remember you're on a roller coaster? Did you forget
Mm,
you're on a roller coaster? Like, it's
yeah.
so dumb. It's so like again, if this is a standard action movie for Netflix, I can only imagine what it would have been like in the hands of a real studio. And I know people are gonna be like, Netflix is a real studio. Yeah, it's like, but you know what I mean. Some place that puts up a movie in theaters instead of sacrificing it for content on Netflix.
But it's crazy because, like, I mean, like I said, you could see movies like Extraction. That one's a good one that took risks and it was crazy, and it was a Netflix film. And then you get to a movie where like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon are like your main draw. Like you guys got like big top tier actors waiting for people. People are waiting to sit down and watch this movie, and then they do what they did to us, and it's like, oh well. You seem better in different movies, unfortunately. Are we at the end? Because I kind of want to talk about the end. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're at the
All
end.
right, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a rating already from 1 to 10. 10 being the best,
All
one being
right,
the
man.
worst, five being in
Okay.
the middle. I'm gonna go ahead and just start off by saying this movie fucking sucked everything. It sucked everything. This movie sucked so bad. I couldn't believe it. It was baffling to me how bad this movie was. Unfortunate, and that's just the best way to put it. Like sorry for everybody who put the hard work into it. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon going on their apology tour and everything like that. This movie was a solid 2.5. This movie sucked. I'll never put in this movie on again. Struggled to even watch it the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I think, man, I don't want to. I
This
I
movie
feel like that's
sucked.
mean. Like I feel like that's mean, like unwarranted, like warranted but mean. Like that's like I don't know
This movie sucked.
because the movie was the movie I
Bad.
wish was better. I just wish it was better. And by Netflix standards, if this is what we're getting, I how can we look forward to anything that they do with WB or whatever? I think I'm with you. I give it because cast alone. I like the cast. Would I watch it again? Probably not. But I got to give it like a 3. I think I'm okay with that.
No, we're in the same ballpark. We're in the same. You're a little nicer with the 3, but 2.5 is good for me. With that being said, I'm ready to just walk out of this one. This one, it was a
Yeah,
terrible movie. I gotta
this
be
was
honest.
unfortunate. Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think, though. Check out the movie. It's on Netflix right now, or don't. I mean, you save your
Yeesh.
time. I mean, do some chores or something around the house and tell me if it like makes it better for you. I
Enhance
don't
the
know.
experience.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, that's what they're looking out for, anyways. Let us know what you guys think. Um, any topics that we should be talking about, movies you want us to review, not Netflix ones. We're gonna try to retire those at this point. I don't know. We'll see. Let us know what you guys think. Josh, let them know where they could talk to us and hear the voice on one of these episodes and blah 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 blah. Yeah.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post on episodes there. Here's up there for news and movies you want us to cover. Buzzsprout link in the social I just gave you. It's like a Patreon. You subscribe, you have the show grow. We really appreciate it. It's just anywhere you get your podcast at FilmBros Podcast, Spotify, Easy Music, Apple Podcasts. Again, wherever you get your podcasts, be part of the conversation. Twitch at FilmBros Podcast. When it's all said and done, subscribe to YouTube at Film Bros Podcast.
And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.